Hi class, I want to do a video on adding and subtracting fractions for those of you who just need a little refresher. So if you would just grab this little half sheet, it says adding and subtracting fractions on the top. Make sure to write your name. Okay, and so we are going to go through and do some examples as well. So the denominators must be the same. And so remember, with a fraction, you have the numerator and you also have the denominator on top, on bottom. Okay, so when denominators are not the same, you are going to make them the same using common fractions. Then add or subtract the numerators like normal. When the denominators are the same, the denominator does not or doesn't change. It's going to stay the exact same. The numerator is added or subtracted like normal. So let's do an example of this. So let's say they are the same. So let's do 1/3 plus 4/3. So since the denominator is the same, they both have 3, we are going to add 1 plus 4 is 5, and then keep the denominator the same over 3. So this is called improper. If you have an improper fraction, you need to change it to be proper by making it a mixed number. So you see and you think about 3 going into 5 how many times? 3 will go into 5 only one time, so that's my whole number. With how many would be remaining? Well, 1 times 3 is 3. I need to add 2 more to get it to the 5. So 2/3. So that's example 1. Let's do another one with when the denominators are not the same. So let's say 2/5 plus 1/15. Okay, so we look at the denominator, 5 and 15, and we see if we can change them to be the same thing. So 5, I can change 5 to be 15 by multiplying by 3. So I'm going to multiply times 3. Whatever I do on the bottom, I must do on the top. So I'm making a common fraction. So whenever I do that, this is now 6/15 plus 1/15. They are now common denominators. So now we can just add the numerators. So 6 plus 1 is 7. And then we keep the same denominator, so 7/15. Okay, let's look at adding and subtracting mixed numbers. It says it's going to work the same. The denominators must be the same. So remember, a mixed number is like this. This is called a mixed number. And the reason it's a mixed number is because it has a whole number, 1, and then a fraction, 2/3. So you can do one or two things. So the first one is keep them as mixed numbers, and you'll add or subtract the fraction first, and then add or subtract the whole number. So let's say I have 2 and 1/3 minus 5/6. Okay, so this says subtract the fraction first. So that's 1/3 and 5/6. So some of you may have learned that you can borrow from this whole number. But I don't know if I want to do that. Instead, I'm going to do the other option. So that's option 1. And I can do option 2, which is change mixed to improper. I ran out of space over here, so I had to put the ER down there. So I'm going to change this to an improper by 3 multiply. I'm going to use the dot for multiply. 3 times 2 plus the 1. So that becomes 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 more is 7. So 7 over 3 minus 5 over 6. And then I have two fractions now, so I can go ahead and subtract them. But before I can do that, I've got to get common denominators. So 3 and 6, the 3 would have to be multiplied by 2 in order to get a common denominator. So that is 14 over 6 minus 5 over 6. Then we're going to go ahead and subtract that. 14 minus 5 is 9, so 9 over 6. So this is, again, an improper fraction. So I need to change it to a mixed number, but I could also reduce it. What would go into both 9 and 6? Be 3. So that's 3 over 2. Then I do the mixed number. Change this from improper to mixed. How many times will 2 go into 3? 1 time. But it's 1 digit off. So that leaves a remainder of 1 over the same fraction. Okay, so that is all there is to adding and subtracting fractions. So if you have any problems or need me to explain anything, feel free to come and talk to me. Go ahead and glue this in.